So this chapter is also in the continuation of the chapter Madam Rides the Bus. Now let's begin the part third. Her first journey, what careful, painstaking, elaborate plans she had to make for it. She had thriftily thriftily saved whatever stray coins came her way, resisting every temptation to buy peppermints, toys, balloons, and the like, and finally she had saved a total of 60 paise. How difficult it had been, particularly that day at the village fair. But she had resolutely stifled a strong desire to ride the merry-go-round, even though she had the money. Okay, now see the meaning of difficult words. Painstaking means painful. Elaborate means perfect. Okay, thriftily means careful in spending money. Then resolutely stifled means suppressed, control with determination. Understand? Now the next word is, I think this is this much. Now understand the meaning. There is one more merry-go-round. It's a swing that go round and round and round. Okay. Now the meaning of this paragraph. So undoubtedly she had put innumerable amount of effort in planning and saving for her first ever bus journey. Okay. It was a dream ride for her. She resisted every temptation, ranging from peppermints, toys, balloons to merry-go-round at the village fair. And after so many efforts, she finally saved 60 paisa. Now the next paragraph. After she had enough money saved, her next problem was how to slip out of the house without her mother's knowledge. But she managed this without too much difficulty. Every day after lunch, her mother would nap from about 1 to 4 or so. Welly always used these hours for her excursions, as she stood looking from the doorway of her house, or sometimes even ventured out into the village. Today, these same hours could be used for her first excursion outside the village. Okay, now see the meaning of difficult words. Thriftily means careful in spending money. Okay, this is done. Now stray here means from here or there. Okay, resisting means opposing. Temptation means attraction. Then slip out means go out secretly, escape. Nap means short sleep. Excursions, this is very important, and I think new words to be added to your vocabulary. Excursions means picnics. Understand? And ventured out means went cautiously, courageously. Now the meaning of this paragraph. So when the financial obstacle had been dealt with, okay, properly or smartly, the next problem was to be able to sneak out without anyone noticing. Usually, Welly's mother used to sleep from 1 to 4 every afternoon. Welly used to benefit from this and used to go for excursions in the village. This time it could be used for an excursion outside the village. Okay. The bus rolled on now, cutting across a bare landscape. The bus rolled on now, cutting across a bare landscape. Now rushing through a tiny hamlet or past an odd wayside shop. Sometimes the bus seemed on the point of gobbling up another vehicle that was coming towards them for a pedestrian crossing the road, but lo, somehow it passed on smoothly, leaving all obstacles safely behind. Trees came running towards them, but then stopped as the bus reached them and simply stood there helpless for a moment by the side of the road before rushing away in the other direction. Okay. Now see the meaning of difficult words. Hamlet. What is the meaning of Hamlet? a small settlement, a small village with a few houses. Okay. Then gobbling up means to swallow or eat hastily. Okay, quickly, hurriedly. Wayside means on the way along with. Okay. Then pedestrian crossing means path for walkers or people, those who walk by their foot. Okay. Smoothly means without any difficulty. There is one more word, landscape means land scene. Okay, like mountainous or plain or island or what, like that. That is landscape. Okay. Then obstacles means hurdles or hindrance, and clap means beat. Okay. Now understand the meaning of this paragraph. Now the bus reached an area which did not have trees, any trees. It was barren land without any trees, without any greenery, with a few shrubs here and there. Okay. It crossed a small settlement and a shop by the road. As the bus went with high speed, Welly thought that it would swallow the ongoing vehicles. Okay, what will swallow the ongoing vehicles? The bus will swallow the ongoing vehicles and pedestrians too, but it passed safely. But the bus passed safely without hurting any pedestrian or any vehicle, crossing all hurdles, all hindrances on the road. When the bus was moving, it seemed as if trees were rushing towards the bus and would stop as soon as the bus reached them. So, as the bus crossed them, it appeared as if the trees were running away from the bus. Suddenly, Welly clapped her hands with glee. A young cow, tail high in the air, was running very fast, right in the middle of the road, right in front of the bus. The bus slowed to a crawl, and the driver sounded his horn loudly again and again. But the more he honked, the more frightened the animal became and the faster it galloped, always right in front of the bus. Now, see the meaning. Clap means beat, means she clapped her hands, okay, together. Then glee means joy, happiness. Honked, Honked, honked means sounded. Next word is frightened, means fearful, terrified. And then galloped means ran faster. Okay. Now the meaning. Welly was filled with happiness and joy now in the bus. Suddenly, what happened? A cow came running in the middle of the road right in front of the bus. The bus slowed down to give her way, means give the cow way to go, and honked repeatedly, means gave horn repeatedly. Unfortunately, it became more terrified. What became more terrified? The cow became terrified and ran in front of the bus. As the driver blew more horns, the cow became wild and kept on running faster and faster. Okay, now next, somehow this, see, page number 124, see in the beginning. Somehow this was very funny to Ellie. She laughed and laughed until there were tears in her eyes. Hey lady, haven't you laughed enough? Called the conductor. Better save some for tomorrow. At last the cow moved off the road, and soon the bus came to a railroad crossing. A speck of a train could be seen in the distance, growing bigger and bigger. As it drew near, then it rushed past the crossing gate with a tremendous roar and rattle, shaking the bus. Then the bus went on and passed the train station. From there, it traversed a busy, well laid out shopping street and turning, entered a wider thoroughfare. Such big, bright looking shops, what glittering displays of clothes and other merchandise. Such big crowds, struck dumb with wonder, Welly gaped at everything. See the meaning of difficult words. Speck means small sign. Next word is tremendous roar. And rattle means great roar made of clattering sound. Traverse means ran over. Well laid out means smooth. Okay, smooth. SMOOTH, smooth. Then through fair means common path. Okay. Now glittering means shining. Displays means shows. Merchandise means things for sale or to be bought or to be sold. Dumb with wonder means made silent with wonder. Gaped, GAPED means looked keenly. Amused means pleased, entertained. And railroad crossing means an intersection where a railway line crosses a road or path. Understand? Now, the meaning of this paragraph. Welly found the cow incident extremely humorous, and she laughed and laughed to the extent that brought tears to her eyes, or she laughed till tears came out of her eyes. Okay. Again, the conductor teased her by telling her that it was enough for the day and she should save some laughter for the next day. Somehow the cow went off the road on its own and the bus stopped at a level crossing from where the train was visible as a tiny dot. Okay, means the cow became invisible just like as a tiny dot, or we can say that it disappeared from the road or seen from the bus. So as the train came nearer, it grew larger. The train passed with a huge roar, thus shaking the entire road and the bus along with it. The bus started moving and reached narrow street. On taking a turn, it reached a wider road. There were big brightly lit shop. Okay, there were lights in the shop, that's why they were lit. On the road that displayed merchandise, means things for sale. Welly was attracted. She was attracted towards all those lights and decorations in the shops. She glanced at each and every thing, which amazed her a lot. Okay, now the next paragraph, next one. Then the bus stopped and everyone got off except Welly. Hey lady, said the conductor, aren't you ready to get off? This is as far as your 30 paisa takes you. No, Welly said, I'm going back on this same bus. She took another 30 paisa from her pocket and handed the coins to the conductor. Why is something the matter? No, nothing is the matter. I just felt like having a bus ride. That's all. Don't you want to have a look at the sights now that you are here? All by myself. Oh, I would be much too afraid. Greatly amused by the girl's way of speaking, the conductor said. But you weren't afraid to come in the bus. Nothing to be afraid of about that, she answered. Now, see the meaning of difficult words on this page. There isn't any more difficult words in this paragraph. You can understand each and every word. Now, let's go through the meaning of this paragraph. Now, the bus arrived at its destination. Okay, final destination. And everyone except Welly deboarded the bus. They all got down from the bus. All the passengers got down from the bus. The conductor informed Welly that this was the last stop, and just then she took out another 30 paisa from her pocket to buy a ticket back to village. Okay, then she expressed that she only intended to take a bus ride, and upon being asked to, when driver asked her to go nearby, she told him that she was too afraid for that. Conductor, while maintaining his nature all throughout the journey, replied by saying that she wasn't afraid to travel alone in the bus without anyone's help. Then Why was she afraid of roaming in the town? To this, Welly replied confidently, as far as the bus ride was concerned, there was nothing to be afraid of in that. Okay, now see the next. Well, then why not go to that stall over there and have something to drink? Nothing to be afraid of about that either. Oh no, I couldn't do that. Well, then let me bring you a cool drink. No, I don't have enough money. Just give me my ticket. That's all. It will be my treat and not cost you anything. No, no, she said firmly. Please, no. The conductor shrugged, and they waited until it was time for the bus to begin the return journey. Again, there were not many passengers. Okay, now see the meaning. Now the conductor asked her if she wished to have a drink at the nearby stalls or if he could bring her drink if she was afraid to go out of the bus. But Welly answered him that she did not have enough money. Okay, the conductor insisted on it being his treat, but Welly denied to that treat. And both of them waited for a new set of passengers, means for new passengers to be board in the bus, and this time too there were fewer passengers. There were no more passengers in the bus. Now the part fourth. Won't your mother be looking for you? The conductor asked when he gave the girl her ticket. No, no, no. One will be looking for me, she said. Concerned about Valley, the conductor asked if her mother would be looking for her. Okay, as she was all alone. Valley at once replied by saying that no one was waiting for her. Now, the next paragraph. The bus started, and again there were the same wonderful sights. Valley wasn't bored in the slightest and greeted everything with the same excitement she had felt the first time. But suddenly she saw a young cow lying dead by the roadside, just where it had been struck by some fast moving vehicles. Isn't that the same cow that ran in front of the bus on our trip to town? She asked the conductor. The conductor nodded, and she was overcome with sadness. What had been a lovable, beautiful creature just a little while ago and now suddenly lost its charm and its life and looked so horrible, so frightening as it lay there, legs spread, eagled, a fixed stare in its lifeless eyes, blood all over. Okay, now meaning of spread eagle means spread out. Okay, so now while returning from the journey, Welly was just as excited as the first time she boarded the bus. She was looking at everything enthusiastically, means affectionately, when she suddenly noticed a cow lying dead by the roadside. And she said that it must have been hit by a fast moving vehicle. Welly confirmed with the conductor that it was the same cow they had seen earlier. Okay, so her mood experienced a shift towards sadness. She became very sad to see the dead cow. Okay, she wondered how a lovable and playful creature instantly transformed or changed into a horrible and lifeless one. Okay, now the next paragraph. The bus moved. on. The memory of the dead cow haunted her, dampening her enthusiasm. She no longer wanted to look out the window. She sat thus, glued to her seat, until the bus reached her village at 3:40. She stood up and stretched herself. Then she turned to the conductor and said, "Well, sir, I hope to see you again." "Okay, madam," he answered her, smiling. "Whenever you feel like a bus ride, come and join us, and don't forget to bring your fare." She laughed and jumped down from the bus. Then away she went, running straight for home. Okay, now see the meaning of haunted. Returned repeatedly to her mind. Okay, was impossible to forget. Now, the meaning of the paragraph. Now, the sight of the dead cow robbed Welly of her enthusiasm, and thus she stopped looking out of the window. So, scene of the dead cow disheartened her badly. Okay, she sat silently on her seat until she reached home at around 3:40. While deboarding, she conveyed her intention of seeing the conductor again. To which the conductor replied in a sarcastic manner. He told her not to forget her fare. Okay. The next time she intended to travel, and Welly went home. Now, next paragraph. When she entered her house, she found her mother awake and talking to one of Welly's aunts, the one from South Street. This aunt was a real chatterbox, never closing her mouth once she started talking. "And where have you been?" said her aunt when Welly came in. She spoke very casually, not expecting a reply. So Welly just smiled, and her mother and aunt went on with their conversation. Okay, now see the meaning of difficult words in this para. Chatterbox means talkative. Understand? Now the meaning of this para. Now, after having reached the village, she found, Welly found her mother awake from her afternoon nap, and she was talking to one of her aunt. Okay, who lived in the South Street. The aunt spoke so much. She was very talkative that Welly called her a real chatterbox. It was difficult to make her stop talking. She even asked, her aunt asked her a question, and without giving her enough time to reply, resumed talking. Means she did not wait for her reply and she started talking. Understand? Veli also took the benefit of the situation and avoided any conversation regarding where she had been. Now, the next paragraph. Yes, you are right. Her mother said, "So many things in our midst and in the world outside. How can we possibly know about everything? And even when we do know about something, we often can't understand it completely. Can we?" "Oh, yes," breathed Welly. "What?" asked her mother. "What's that you say?" "Oh," said Welly, "I was just agreeing with what you said about things happening without our knowledge. Just a chit of a girl, she is," said her aunt. "And yet, look how she pokes her nose into our conversation, just as though she were a grown lady." Welly smiled to herself. She didn't want them to understand her smile, but then there wasn't much chance of that, was there? Okay, now see the meaning of difficult words. A chit of a girl means a little girl, a tiny girl. Understand? Pokes her nose means takes an interest in something that doesn't concern her. Now understand the meaning. While her mother and aunt were conversing means talking, her mother was heard talking about the endless possibilities in the world. Okay, and one was unaware about, and even if one knew, it was another thing to understand it. Veli affirmed to what her mother was saying, leaving both of them astonished. Okay. She then justified her reaction by mentioning that she was casually agreeing to what her mother was saying. Okay. She said that she agrees with her mother. Okay. Her aunt then referred to Veli as a nose poking child. What is the meaning of nose poking child? Means one child who takes an interest in something that doesn't concern her. Okay, that is not her matter. So, this is the meaning of pokes her nose. Understand? Or nose poking child. As she was just acting like a grown up woman. But only Valley knew what she was referring to. Means what Valley was referring to. Because after all, no one knew about her bus journey. So that's all about the chapter. Madam rides the bus. Thank you so much.